As the Sam Darnold contract talks get louder and louder throughout the national media, I want to take an outlook approach, see what the future looks like for the Vikings at the quarterback position, with this video being brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy, what does each path look like for the Minnesota Vikings? I think the common ground between the two players is that regardless of who the Vikings decide on for 2025 and beyond, the Vikings will continue to win games. I've talked about the similarities between Sam Darnold and Case Keenum, the lead up to their arrival and their play with the Vikings is very similar. However, where I believe it's going to be opposite is after the Vikings or after their career best season, because you knew in 2017, Case Keenum, it was very unlikely that he was going to replicate his success that season. Sam Darnold, I do believe they'll continue to win games. And really, in comparing these two quarterbacks now, Sam Darnold and JJ McCarthy, it's really all about which team that you can build around said quarterback that's going to help you reach that ultimate goal of winning a championship. Now, that said, they could end up winning the Super Bowl this year. And if they do, then all bets are off. I am totally down for the Vikings re-signing Sam Darnold. But speaking of Sam, we're going to start with him. Got the national media talking about him. And at the risk of facing a copyright claim, we're just going to try it and, if necessary, adjust. But I came up with this new segment, this new soundbite, if you will, the national media giving their hot takes on the Minnesota Vikings. And now, some Minnesota Vikings hot takes, brought to you by the national media.
This is very Goff-like to me. When Goff was kicked to the curb in L.A. and went to Detroit, and now look what he is there. This is the same effect that Sam Darnold is here. I love Sam Darnold here.
I couldn't agree more. I think this is a huge mistake from this organization if they don't make a concerted effort to re-sign him.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, but I mean, it's absolutely crazy that they don't see him as the future.
Jared Goff to Sam Darnold. It's the exact same thing. Very similar situation, says ESPN's Teddy Bruschi. I strongly disagree with that take. Jared Goff, before getting to Detroit, was on one team and made it to the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold, before getting to Minnesota, was on 3 different teams and was considered to be a backup at best. Jared Goff already experienced some level of success before becoming a Detroit Lion, whereas Sam Darnold finally experienced success for the first time after his arrival in Minnesota. So it's really apples to oranges, that sort of comparison. And for Alex Smith to say, I think it would be a massive mistake if the Vikings don't commit to Sam long term. It's really a shock to everyone else but Vikings fans, because prior to the season, wherever you got your Vikings coverage, I'm willing to bet that it was rare to find, and not just saying, oh, positivity, this could be the Vikings year like we do every year. Not me, but I know others do that respectfully. Whatever you want to do, whatever your method is, good for you. But we knew this was going to be a good team. We predicted on this channel 11 wins with Sam Darnold as the quarterback. So I think because of the shock value that the Vikings are providing to everyone outside of Minnesota or outside the Vikings fan base with Sam Darnold as the QB1, you've got hot takes galore. Oh my God, who could have seen this coming? We did. And new customers at BetUS Sportsbook and Casino get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. Just use the promo code YouTube150. But we're first going to explore the path of Sam Darnold. They signed him to a contract extension. And for this exercise, we're going to use the template of the Baker Mayfield contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3 years, $100 million. Although with inflation year over year, I would expect for Sam Darnold to get more than that. But just for S&Gs, we're going to use that as a baseline. The first year for Baker Mayfield's contract this year, 2024, it's a low cap hit, $6.9 million. No big deal. Year two, a $36 million cap hit. Year three, in 2026, a $46 million cap hit, plus 2 void years added on top of that. So using that same template, Sam Darnold in 2025, you've got a $6.9 million cap hit, leaves you with $69 million in spending. You've got Justin Jefferson and Christian Darrisaw locked up. Good for you. But any big time talent that you want to sign in free agency, it's going to have to be super short deals, 1 to 2 year deals max. And that's even if they would even agree to that in the first place. Either that or you say, screw it, we'll sign 3+ year deals, pushing a balloon of void money into oblivion. Because in year two, 2026, $100 million in spending minus Sam's $36 million leaves you with $64 million in cap space, which on the surface sounds nice, except you have to fill out 32 roster spots. Not an ideal situation. And then in year three, 2027, $180 million available minus Sam's $46 million leaves you with $134 million in cap to fill out 42 roster spots, damn near a whole ass team. 2026, the salary cap is estimated to be at $290 million. Brian O'Neill, Justin Jefferson, Christian Darrisaw, and Sam Darnold would account for 42% of the cap. 2027, estimated at $314. Jets, Darrisaw, Sam Darnold, no Brian O'Neill. His contract is off the books. No longer a Vikings player. Those 3 players account for 36% of the cap. And you're going to eventually have to be forced to make decisions on Jonathan Grenard, TJ Hawkinson, for example. It puts the Vikings in a tight space between a rock and a hard place, because you can replace talent or downgrade or settle for talent, lesser talent than what you already have. But signing Sam Darnold to a market value contract, which is what he's going to want, there's no way in hell he says, well, you know what, I'll take a team-friendly deal because this is all the good stuff you've done for me. I want to reciprocate, unless he's willing to leave money on the table out of the goodness of his heart. That's just bad business. But signing Sam Darnold to a market value contract is it just makes things super tough for the Vikings to build off of what they already have right now. The Vikings, as they're constructed right now in this scenario, minus draft picks, future draft picks, this is as good as it gets. You're going to have to re-sign Garrett Bradbury, all the holes on this roster, the interior defensive line, corners. No, you're just going to have to settle for scrap heat and bandages. And as far as door number 2, path number 2, JJ McCarthy, the numbers that you have expected to be able to spend in cap, as far as what's projected on over the cap, what you see is what you get, because you're going to be riding that team-friendly rookie contract for JJ McCarthy, and you can spend money, spread that money around, and build on that roster, baby. So instead of settling for Garrett Bradbury, you want a center in free agency? Okay, Drew Dahlman from the Atlanta Falcons, come on down. Hey, Harrison Hitman Smith, he might retire. Buda Baker, sign me up. Interior defensive line, Milton Williams, the young guy from the Philadelphia Eagles, has been turning heads. Let's go ahead and sign this guy. That is, if these teams are not going to franchise tag or sign them to an extension. You've got options on top of options to make this team even better. And really, it comes down to, do you feel that this team can win a championship? Because the title window is open. I've talked about this before, I think last week, regardless of who the quarterback is going to be. But if you can actually reach the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl. That's the plan anyway. What gives you the better chance? This roster pretty much being what it is, and that's what it's going to be for the entirety of the 3-year deal for Sam Darnold, or build up this roster even more than what you have right now with adequate, equal, or dare I say better quarterback play from JJ McCarthy. Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks to the folks at BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. We'll see you next time.